What up everyone, Clayton here, and today we're here with another episode of the Elder Scrolls 6 location, where we talk about the possible locations in the next Elder Scrolls game. We don't really know much about this game, we don't know where the location is, and that's why we're going to be talking about some of the possibilities. Today we're going to be talking about Black Marsh, which is home of the Argonians. I did a Nations of Tamriel, where I give some backstory on Black Marsh, a brief history, talking about some of the people, and the geography of Black Marsh last week, so I'll leave a link here. You can go check that out if you have no clue what Black Marsh is. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started why I think this could be a possible location. But to be honest, I don't know if it's going to be that high up on the list of possible locations. I personally don't think it will be, because I think the Altmere Dominion and the Thalmor are the big bad guys that the Bethesda team set up as like the big bad villains. And Argonia, which is what it's also called Black Marsh Argonia, is kind of, you can change the names interplaceably to be the name for that area. They have no relation with the Altmere Dominion. They stayed out of the Great War. They didn't really do anything with that. Um, so yeah, they're not really participating in this great war that's going on in Tamriel, so I don't know really why they would change their focus over there, unless they're trying to bring in a big new player into the game that they're going to be fighting against. But let's go ahead and talk about some of the possibilities. That's the reason why it could be a location for the next Elder Scrolls game. For one, it is probably one of the most secretive locations. It has not been explored by any people really. When the Empire had it inside the Empire, they only controlled the ports and kind of the coastal regions of Black Marsh. The interior of Black Marsh is complete swamps, and it's really hard for any other race besides your Argonians to really get along in there. There's diseases. It's pretty much all swamp, so you can't really get carts or horses in through there. So they have to walk or swim, and the Argonians are kind of fit for that exactly, which is why it might be difficult to add different races into that location and try to get them to get along in there. But yeah, there's one reason. If it's so unexplored, this would be an amazing place for people to explore all of Black Marsh in its entirety for like the first time ever. We have not seen any of it. We've seen stuff on Elder Scrolls Online, but we don't really see a lot of the swamps. Most of Elder Scrolls Online is in the north part of Black Marsh, which isn't really part of the main swamps, which is located in the middle. So exploring those swamps could be really cool, and definitely something that we haven't seen before, and something maybe Bethesda would want to show its audience of what it's really about. Another thing is, I always like to talk about conflict, and that conflict in games kind of make it easier to be enjoyable. I know it sounds pretty bad, but if there's a conflict, there's a war you can join in and choose sides who to fight. If there's a good guy and a bad guy, you can pick sides there. It's always nice to have that as a conflict to kind of get the player engaged. And there is sort of that conflict here in Black Marsh, where the Argonians invaded the southern part of Morrowind, which is home of the Dunmer. The Dunmer held the Argonians as slaves for a very long time, and the Argonians kind of struck back at them by invading the southern part of Morrowind, taking the capital Morrowind. They're eventually beaten back a little bit, but as far as I understand, they can still control parts of southern Morrowind, which might, have a war between the Dark Elves and Argonians. Maybe you get to pick the side of which race like you get to back. That'd be something really cool. Other than that, there's not very much conflict. There's always the Hist to be thinking about, which is the Hist is a race of sentient trees that can kind of control their Argonians at a whim. There's a hive mind aspect going on that the Hist can kind of tell, okay, Argonians go here and attack here, and then all the Argonians will come back and do that. Kind of happened during the Oblivion Crisis, where the Hist told the Argonians about the Oblivion Crisis. All the Argonians came back to Black Marsh to defend it, and they beat back the Daedra better than any other nation in Tamriel. So that could be also another thing that could be really done with. They could explore the Hist more, and maybe kind of give the Hist either like a good guy, maybe they're bad guys, and they're controlling Argonians to like take over Tamriel. You don't really know this. It's really secretive about the Hist because they worship a god that's like the void, and it's really weird. But there's also talk about the Hist and a talk about the war with the Dunmer. Another thing that they could do, which isn't highly likely, is that they could go towards Akaviri or Akavir. Akavir is a nation to the east of Black Marsh. It's there's a sea, and then there's Akavir. whereas bunch of different races live here, and there's been talks and books in Skyrim that say that Akavir might invade Tamriel again, and that might happen in the next game, and Black Marsh be a prime target where they invade. So there might be that conflict as well, or maybe you have to invade Akavir and fight them there on their own turf. We don't really know much about Akavir very much. There is this uh, tiger race called the Capotun. Their leader is trying to become a dragon and try to take over Tamriel. He's kind of a bad guy, and that might be the main story for the next game, but I highly doubt it because I think they're really going to stay with the Altmer Dominion. Another reason why the Black Marsh could be the location is that for whatever reason, there is tons and tons of rumors on the internet saying that Argonia is going to be the next game. It's going to be like released in 2 years, and it's going to be Elder Scrolls 6 Argonia. And there's been talks about this, and I don't know why people say this. I don't see any of the proof that they're saying. Like, there's no proof. Bethesda has not said anything. But until then, like, you can't take anything to heart until Bethesda confirms it. You can speculate with rumors, kind of like what we're doing here, but there's no proof, and people are really latched onto this idea that Argonia is going to be the next Elder Scrolls game, which I don't really see. But yeah, those are kind of the main reasons why the game could take place here. It's really unexplored. There's conflict between the Argonians and the Dunmer, as well as the possible invasion from Akavir, and also the whole rumor with Argonia being the next game for whatever reason. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, leave your comments down below about what you think with Black Marsh being the next Elder Scrolls location. And yeah, thank you for watching, and this is Clayton, signing out.